All right, everybody. Our next break is going to be our special guest mixer for tonight. Find it on my page here. We've got special guest tonight, Robert Flores from MLB Central of MLB Network. Welcome in, Robert.
Hey, thanks for having me. How are you?
Doing great. Again, really appreciate you being here. Now, I know you said you haven't collected in a while. Are you familiar with breaks and the process on those?
Yes, I am. I am familiar with the process of them, the practice. Um, just a little background. I was heavily into collecting and memorabilia when I was 10 years old, starting in 1980, and until about 1988, when I graduated high school, I was really heavily involved in the hobby. Tops. When I started collecting, it was just tops. And then in 81, Donruss came into the mix, and then Fleer. And then later it was Bowman that was, a big part of the scene. But after I graduated high school, I kind of just lost touch. And I still had quite a collection. And like I told you before we started the stream, I've got a couple of tragic collectible stories that I'm eager to share with your audience. So
we're looking forward to those. All right, so what we'll do first is I'll go over the teams, who everybody has, and then we'll jump into this and we'll do the interview. You can tell us your stories, and we'll plug some of your stuff going on there too at the end. So,
sounds good.
This. All right, and I have it already printed out, so simple enough here. We've got Brian with the Diamondbacks, Neil with the A's, Philip the Braves, Miguel with the Orioles, Michael with the Red Sox, Jennifer the Cubs. And how do you feel about them just going as the A's right now? Do you hate that there's not a city in front of the Athletics?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's as a baseball fan, as a kid that was born and raised in the 1970s, I feel awful for the fans in Oakland. I feel awful for many of those Athletic fans. The Oakland Coliseum, when it was rocking, it was great. But I also understand that I understand how business works, and I understand how professional sports works, not just baseball, but all across the landscape. But while I'm excited for fans in Las Vegas and currently now Sacramento, I feel my heart goes out to fans in Oakland, because there are a lot of good fans. There still are. But yeah, unfortunately, that's just part of the equation now in modern professional sports.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a lot more threats going on out there in sports too. If we don't get the new stadium, we're gone. So a lot of teams have to, or a lot of cities have to pretty much make adjustments for that. But
yeah,
we have Miguel here with the White Sox and the Reds, David the Guardians, Sung Ying with the Rockies, Dustin the Tigers, Corey the A's, Nathan with the Royals, Neil the Angels, Miguel with the Dodgers, Michael the Marlins, Jacob the Brewers, Sean with the Twins, Steven the Mets, Michael with the Yankees, Tyler the Phillies, Brandon the Pirates, Miguel with the Padres, Michael with the Giants, Miguel with the Mariners, Ty with the Cardinals, Miguel with the Rays, Kelly with the Rangers, and Michael with the Blue Jays and the Nationals.
So can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
The list that you just read off, can I assume that were these teams randomly assigned to these individuals, or?
So we priced this by team. The
Okay.
teams were available on the website, and they got to choose which team they would take for this break.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We do have 3 prizes in this one. Now, I had talked to you earlier, and you said some of the stuff you remember collecting. Ricky Henderson, Ken Griffey Jr., Jose Canseco.
Yeah.
Had to put those into the break as the prizes. So we have a Jose Canseco 86 Donruss rookies signed with an 86 AL MVP inscription. Ken Griffey Jr. 89 Donruss the rookies signed.
Yeah.
And a Ricky Henderson
rookie.
Ricky.
That's it. That's the one.
Yeah, that one's nice. With a stolen base king inscription, and the autograph's graded a PSA 10. That's really nice.
Man, I had so many of those cards back in the day. That was That's a 1980 tops,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the year that I started kind of a buddy of mine was really heavily in collecting, and I, would pick his brain, and that's the year that I started collecting. So I had quite a few of those cards. Brings back good memories.
That's a good one. That's one of the cards that I haven't added to my collection. I did pick up an Aussie rookie, Ozzie Smith. I think it's 79. So I
Yeah.
haven't added the Ricky Henderson to it yet, but we'll get there. We'll start with the 2020 Bowman Chrome HTA choice. And you said you had some collectible stories. So why don't we start there?
Well, yeah. So it's and why don't we start with that Ricky Henderson card?
Okay.
Because, as I said, I was heavily into collecting from about 10 years old to 18, 19 years old. So I had a pretty decent collection. I had it in binders and everything from when I was a kid. I would say I would say 2000, must have been 2010. They just been lying around my house. And I told my wife one day, I said, you know what? There's a hobby shop card store just opened up the other day. Let me just see what they're worth. Because when I was growing up as a kid, hey, you hold on to these. One of these days, you could buy a
Mm-hmm.
house.
Yep.
Or of course that didn't turn out to be the case in my particular instance. But so I go to the hobby shop, um, and I do not even remember. I think the owner or the person that I was talking to was intrigued by the Ricky Henderson. I had three rookie Ricky Hendersons, the card you just showed. I had a rookie George Brett, I think it was a 75 tops, and a couple of others. I also have and still have in my office here. I have a Sugar Ray Leonard signed boxing glove and a Floyd Mayweather
Oh, nice.
signed boxing glove. So I take these items to the shop. I don't remember what the deal was, other than that, hey, most of what you have, it's okay, it's not great, but these are kind of interesting. So I said, all right, well, I appreciate the time. I put the items that I brought with me, including my binder that had all my cards, on top of my car and drove home. And as you can imagine, there were cards strewn everywhere on a random road in Connecticut.
That one's
Okay.
tough.
Yeah. Yeah. So uh, I went back realizing in horror what I did and went back to the place where they flew off my hood or the roof of my car. There were a few that were salvageable, but most
Oh,
had been, yeah. So,
that's rough. Yeah, that
yeah,
one.
very rough. Very, very rough. And would you like to hear my second one, or you want to wait?
No, let's go for it. That one. It
Okay.
can't be worse than that one, right?
Well, I'll let you be the judge. I would say about let me see, 16 years ago. When was? I'll tell you when it was. Just give me a second here, and I'll Google exactly when it was because it involves Steph Curry.
Okay.
Okay. And let me see. When was Steph Curry's rookie year?
09.
Oh nine.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So 2009, 2010. My son at the time was 8 years old, 7, 8 years old. He was wanting to buy some cards. He went to Walmart. My wife took him to Walmart. He buys he ends up getting a Steph Curry rookie Panini,
Mm-hmm.
the autographed.
Oof. Okay.
And again, I'm obviously, look, I worked at ESPN at the time. I know who Steph Curry is,
Yeah.
but in terms of collecting and memorabilia, I am so far out of the loop. So he puts it as kids do, puts it in the corner of his bedroom mirror, right?
Hmm.
and it sat there for what, 2009 to when we moved here to MLB Network. So for 7 years, it just sat there. And I didn't. I obviously I was in his room all the time. I didn't, like I said, I didn't put it together until, when was it? I guess the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
That's when collecting and memorabilia really got a big boost,
Yeah.
a big jump. So I'm seeing all these stories and I go, wait a minute, hold up. Is the card that's been in his bedroom since 2009? Is that something? And yes, it was something. It was very much something, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
But as you might imagine, not being protected, being in the corner of a bedroom mirror, the condition of that card as we speak, I mean, it's protected now behind me, you know. It's so needless to say, it is just a total missed opportunity by myself and, dare I say, my entire family. So
They're saying it's not
it,
Gem Mint 10.
no, it is absolutely not. Now, here's my question to you. This is obviously your wheelhouse. Well, and I'd have to show you the condition of the card. Like, what are my options? What do
I
you
mean,
what would you suggest in a situation like this?
you could still get it graded to keep it from, getting any worse than what it is. Um, once it goes in the slab, it's not going to deteriorate any more than that.
Yeah,
Because it's a Steph Curry autograph. If the autograph's good, I mean, even if the grade's not great, if they grade both the card and the autograph grades
yeah,
a 10, that still carries a premium to it. So that would
yeah,
help it. But yeah, I mean, just a card in rough shape with the autograph probably loses a lot of value unless you get the protection there and maybe get
yeah,
that good grade on the signature.
yeah.
That's probably
Okay.
your best bet.
All right. Good to know. So yeah, those are two of my stories there. And like I said, I have a soft spot in my heart for memorabilia, for baseball cards especially, because that's what I grew up on. I mean, I still have a bunch of, like I said, I've got the Sugar Ray Leonard and the Floyd Mayweather. I've got a Ric Flair signed baseball bat. Uh, so like I really appreciate uh, uh I've always have a soft spot in my heart for collecting and memorabilia. So I would love to get back into it now. It's just like I just feel like there's so much. It's a little intimidating. I feel like to
Yeah,
to
I,
jump back in now. You know what I
I
mean?
definitely feel that, and I tell people a lot that like what I do with the breaking. I think that helps because there's boxes now that run $1,000. There's boxes that run $20,000. I think Panini has the new basketball that's just Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and it's running like $40,000 a box for just those two.
Whoa.
And it's like some of that stuff is just insanely priced. So for people that are getting back into it or getting into it for the first time, you can jump in breaks. There's cheaper products. The Topps Base Series. Topps Chrome is going to be coming out later this month. Um, we'll be doing pick your team breaks, random team breaks, things like that. And you can get, your favorite teams anywhere, if you're talking the White Sox or somebody like that, you're going to have a cheap option to get teams there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the A's right now are a little pricey because Kurtz is going to have his first rookie cards in Chrome. Jacob Wilson's playing really well. So
Yeah.
there's going to be some pricier teams, but there's also going to be those cheap options for people to get into it as well. And jumping into random team breaks or random card breaks, even, where you're guaranteed to get something. That's a good way to get back into it, find out what you like at a cheaper rate than diving into a $1,000 box on your own. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my pitch to people about breaking all the time is you get to see stuff without having to make the full commitment to it.
Yeah.
I think that's because even myself, I mean, I don't buy, the National Treasures or the Transcendent boxes or things like that, but I've been in breaks of those products because it cost me $50 or $100, and it didn't cost me 10,000.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference in price. So
Yeah.
it definitely helps with so many breakers out there that you can find, that you can find the price point that works for you, and that's
Yeah.
really the best thing about it, I think.
So, like, I was given, I remember a couple years ago, I did something for Fanatics and, went to Tops in their offices in the city, which was great. It's really cool. And they gave me a couple of boxes of, oh, shoot, it's right behind me. 3 boxes of 2023, 2024, like 4 boxes. I mean, it's just, it doesn't, you might as well just keep them, right? I mean, don't even bother opening them for a good while, correct?
It depends. I mean, some products the price really goes up. I think with 2024, the sealed stuff is going to continue to go up because of the rookie class last year. I mean, it was so good. You had Skeens, you had Ellie, Jackson Holiday's just going to keep getting better. So there's so many good players from last year's class. But then you also have 2021 for both football and baseball. The rookie class isn't that great, so the price has kind of diminished a little bit on those as they've sat sealed.
Yeah.
Because there's less of a chase. There's no big cards for you to chase. So I think that it really depends on like who the rookie class is, what the hits are in those products, and it really varies based on the product itself.
Do you see the W? You mentioned the Caitlin Clark, and by the way, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm asking you questions, so I mean, jump in here. But I'm just so interested. Do you feel like the WNBA is kind of a untapped emerging market, or has it already arrived?
Uh, I'm not sure. The Caitlin Clark stuff sells for ridiculous amounts of money, and no
Hmm.
female athlete has ever really sold like that before. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something different. Um, but there's so many good college players in women's collegiate basketball that I think there's
Hmm.
potential there for it to continue growing. And if it continues growing, then that's gonna help the collections of the WNBA. The more top stars there are that have that ability, the better off it is for the products themselves.
Yeah.
So I mean, it really just depends on how those women acclimate to the WNBA once they get out of college.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But you said about getting back into collecting. So I did
Hmm.
have a question from somebody, and they said if you were to start collecting again, do you have
Hmm.
any players that you would prefer to collect or that you want to collect?
Well, I mean, look, when I was a kid, and I'm, it was drilled into me, try to find those rookies. Uh, so, you know, I think, look, I'm an Astros fan, so Cam Smith, I'm bullish on his potential. Um, you know, anything. I also love watching PCA, and I'm sure that his cards are already, uh, you know, quite valuable and quite sought after.
Yeah, they're starting
Um,
to get up there now.
yeah, so those two right there immediately come to mind for me. Um, I also, Max Clark. Now I know he hasn't made his big league debut yet, but he's got such a big following already on social media, and even young players. I mean, it's unique because there's so many young kids that know him already, and he hasn't even made it to the big leagues, which I think is it's quite interesting, and obviously speaks to his social media presence and personality.
Yeah, for sure. And since you mentioned Max Clark, as a Pirates fan here in Pittsburgh, uh, we see the talk about the Paul Skeens stuff. Is he going to get traded?
Yeah.
Uh, I did see
Yeah.
that there was rumors that the Tigers might be interested, and Max Clark's name might be floated around there. Do you think they're
Yeah.
going to trade Skeens? Do you think there's a chance Paul Skeens gets traded this year?
You know what? Like, I was talking about how much I really feel for fans in Oakland and A's fans. I kind of feel those same feelings for Pirate fans. I mean, two things. One, there's such a great history. When I was a kid, Willie Stargell, and Dave Parker was my absolute favorite player as a kid. So there's history there, and the fans are absolutely dying for
Yes.
a a solid winning baseball team. And look, man, Paul Skeens, look, it's only his second full year in the big leagues. And look, we don't know what he's ultimately going to become, but he looks like he has a chance to be a generational talent. And if you can't make it work with him, if then what are we doing here? So I really hope that um, they're able to figure it out. They need some offense badly because their pitching, is good enough. Their pitching is good enough to get into the postseason with the expanded playoffs and the National League Central. Yes, the Cubs are good, but what if they don't re-sign Kyle Tucker? Right? So I think that there's a window here, and I'm just hoping that the Pirates can figure it out and really make a run here because I love PNC Park. I haven't been there, but it looks like it's one of the most beautiful places to catch a ball game, and I know that there's a lot of good fans there.
Yeah, I mean that really is one of the draws to our ballpark. There is just the view, how nice everything is there. Manny Sanguian has a restaurant there where the food's absolutely amazing.
Oh, I love that.
So
I love
I
that.
love it. It's Manny's barbecue. The food is fantastic. So it's like there's so much good stuff, and you can even catch the Permani sandwiches there with the fries and the slaw. Like everything's there, and then you got that view, and the team's just not able to put it together there for us.
Yeah, it's too bad. There's a look, and I really enjoy. I love watching O'Neill Cruz. I know it's been kind of up and down, and he's a bit mercurial. Um, but there's a lot to like, and there's a lot of reasons to be positive as a Pirates fan. But you got to be able to score runs, man. You got to be able to score runs, and that has just been a real problem for them.
Yeah, it's tough to watch. I mean, as a fan, like it's just so tough to sit through the games and see the pitching. Just lights out almost every night, and they just can't do anything offensively to
Yeah,
help them out there.
yeah, yeah.
Now, now
So
you did mention O'Neill Cruz, and that's another
yeah,
question we had submitted. Is do you have a favorite for the home run derby coming up?
um, we were talking about this earlier this morning on MLB Central. I like James Wood a lot.
Okay.
That's another card that I'm sure his cards are already uh, very very expensive, right? But
Uh,
I think that
they're
what
growing,
yeah
but I
what
don't think they're as crazy yet because the Nationals don't
okay.
really have that market.
I think he has a chance to be a left-handed hitting Dave. I think he's a left-handed Dave Winfield. He is such a physical presence in the batter's box. Um, his natural swing as a lefty is that left center, and he's got that in his back pocket, and that is effortless for him. And he doesn't, he rarely pulls the ball. So he is just scratching the surface. So he's probably I think if I'm picking, I would pick him. But O'Neill Cruz could certainly get on a heater. Byron Buxton is going to be participating, and he's a native kid from Georgia. So yeah, I think this feels interesting. Yes, I would love to see uh, Aaron Judge and Shohei Otani and Vlad and Pete Alonso, but you still got Cal Raleigh in there, the big dumper,
Mhm.
James Wood. So I think that the home run derby never disappoints as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I've always been a fan of it. Now, growing up in the '90s, the home run derby was so much different because they had the 10 out rule. Now they
Hmm.
have the timeouts and the time and the added time and all that. Do you prefer it now with the way that they do things, or did you like the 10 outs? You're done.
You know what? I kind of like the format now.
Okay.
I know that there are some people. Look, these days everyone hates something about, no one's ever satisfied. But
Absolutely.
I think it's I think as a whole, All Star Week and the All Star Game itself. And look, as someone that works for MLB Network, you're I'm biased, right? Yeah, I can definitely be accused of being biased. But even as a kid, I thought that the All Star Game and All Star Week was the best of all the All Star celebrations, if you will, of the major sports. And when you consider the game itself, it's the All Star Game in baseball is the closest All Star game to what we see on a nightly basis, right? And it's not like the NBA All Star, where bless their heart, they don't play any defense, and
Well,
it's
that's pretty
two
close to the
hundred.
nightly thing in the NBA.
But with baseball, I think it's the closest to what we see on a nightly basis. And another thing that's great, uh, resuming this year, we're going to start to see the players wearing their regular
Yeah,
uniforms.
I like that a lot.
So and as a kid, that was something that I thought was so cool. And one of the great things about the All Star Game, seeing all the different uniforms on the field at the same time, and so I'm glad that they're doing that.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me too. Is like I hated not being in their home uniform. I didn't like the blue and the
Yes.
red and things like that. So I absolutely agree with that one. But yeah, I guess I'm more of like a I'm one of those old man yells at clouds because I'm like I grew up liking this and this is what I like. I prefer the home run derby the old way, but I do think it puts on a lot more of a show for guys to hit solid for 3 minutes and hit 40 home runs in a round. Like they weren't
Yeah.
doing that in the
And
'90s. So
and also I think with this current format, there's the extra element of there's more strategy. When are you going to take your timeouts, right? So I do like that. I do like that as well.
yeah, absolutely. We do have. Here, try to keep this going. Now we did mention food at the ballparks, and I know you
Mhm.
guys get food at the studio there for
Yeah,
different stadiums.
Every Friday, it's a
Yep.
segment we call "Take Out Me to the Ball Game," um, and I believe we've already this year. I don't remember the item, but I do know that we did have an item from the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I missed that one. Uh,
Yeah,
so I gotta ask: have you had a favorite that's come in yet from any ballpark? One
you
that
know,
stands out?
I'm gonna go the one that continues to stand out for me. There was an item that we had from the Seattle Mariners. It was called the Mitch Witch, and it was named after Mitch Haniger, who I don't think he's with the team any longer. But it was an amazing sandwich. It was like some turkey and ham with some great seasoning and Gouda cheese. It was excellent. So um, uh, the stadium food is a lot different than maybe you and I when we would go to the ball games as kids.
Yeah.
It's not just hot dogs and nachos and pretzels. I mean, for instance, the New York Mets, they have a tremendous food scene. So there's it. Bring your appetite when you're going to ballparks across the league for sure.
Yeah, I think the one I saw might have been last week with the lobster hot dogs. I think was the most recent one I've seen.
Yeah, and lobster isn't necessarily my go-to, but it was a lot better than I thought. So it's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's different. You don't normally think of that way. But like I said, I a huge fan of the show. And it does look like you and Mark kind of gross out Lauren a little bit with how you guys dive into the food.
Yeah, she tries not to eat. She doesn't want to spill anything or and the other thing, she's also driving the segment too, so she has to do a lot of talking and explaining about the item, where you can find it and things like that. So but yeah, we definitely have a good time.
Another question I had from a viewer about the MLB Central is, do you have any particular moments or guests that really stand out from your time there? And I did mention before we started, you guys just had your 1,000th episode. Congratulations on
Yeah.
that. And
um
yeah, so a lot to choose
it,
from there, I guess.
yeah, I look it having having Aaron Judge on when he was announced as captain of Team USA at next year's World Baseball Classic, having Paul Skeens in studio, those are, I mean, those are fresh in my mind, clearly. Um, but we've been, I've been lucky enough to be a part of this show since 2018, and I've had a chance to do a lot of cool things in my career and stuff I'm very proud of. But this is the most fun I've had professionally. I really enjoy working with Mark and Lauren, and more importantly, the people that you don't see on camera. Everyone is pulling in the same direction. Best idea wins. We have a really open and kind of format when it comes to ideas and things like that. So I'm really thankful to be a part of that group.
Yeah, I mean, and then I told you this already, speaking before we did the stream tonight, that the chemistry that you guys have really stands. I mean, you can tell that watching the show that you guys all get along well, and that it's a really well put together show. So,
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we enjoy. Look, we're all going to be at the All-Star game um, next week in Atlanta, and we'll some of the best times will be just us three at dinner, or us three just before walking around or stuff like that. So they're both really really good people. They're excellent at what they do. Dero is the most unique analyst I've ever worked with, and because he thinks he thinks about his segments in terms of being a TV producer, and I had never worked with an analyst like that. I have worked with a ton of them, and we have a ton of talented analysts at MLB Network. That's why I think our network, again, I'm biased, but I think our network is the best of all the league owned networks. But Dero has a really unique way of explaining the game to viewers to make it informative and entertaining.
yeah, I agree with that. All the segments are great, where he's breaking down swings, and
Hmm.
like I said, I like the uniqueness of the things you guys put on this stuff. So definitely a big fan there, and excited for Dero as the coach of Team USA again.
Yeah,
Hoping,
yeah, he's looking forward to it. He obviously was very very disappointed, as the entire um, all the players were, of how it ended in 2023 against Japan, and Shohei striking out Mike Trout. It was great baseball. It was a great moment for the league, for the sport itself, for the industry, however you want to term it. But I think that he's building a roster and of heck, it might be baseball's version of the dream team. So it's going to be a lot of fun for sure.
yeah, I mean, definitely the start. We have Paul Skeens, we have Aaron Judge, and we have Bobby Witt Jr. So it's tough to beat that combination right out of the
Yeah,
gate. So gotta
yeah,
love
and
that.
I know of a couple of others. I wish I could tell you. I've been sworn to secrecy, but I think everyone's going to be pretty excited about the team that it ultimately takes the field next year.
Are you trying to get to be a part of the team as well? Do you just want in the dugout?
Yeah,
Get in there?
I just heck, I'll be the bat boy. I'll I don't know if I want to be the clubhouse attendant. That looks like a lot of hard work. Not that Bat Boy doesn't require a lot of hard work, but I do know some of the early rounds are in Houston, so I'm hoping that the network decides to cover those early rounds, and but I definitely would love to be there. So we'll have to see how it works out.
Yeah, you just gotta tell him that you definitely need to be there. I mean,
Yeah, I
what's he
mean,
without his real partner, right? So
yeah,
you got to be there.
right. Yeah, the last time in 2023, Lauren and I we would be texting each other because we didn't want to, he's got his hands full. He's trying to come up with, because I think the thing that's sometimes got lost in what he and his coaching staff and everyone else, it was that they were having to deal with, was it was basically trying to solve a math problem or solve a jigsaw puzzle for every game. Obviously, with the arms that you have, because of the time of year and because of the obligations and the importance that those arms have and carry with their parent clubs, you have to be very careful. They're only allotted so many pitches. So it is a very, very difficult process that Dero and his coaching staff have to go through. But so Lauren and I would be texting each other during the games and really really pulling hard for him because he's a big part of what we do. He's a good friend of ours, and so we're definitely going to be pulling for him.
Yeah, well, he's got a whole country behind him pulling for him too.
Yep,
So,
that's right. That's right.
but not to backtrack too much here, but you mentioned about the teams, they have obligations. The pitchers had obligations to their teams. Now it just recently came out that the Pirates have been limiting Paul Skeens so that he can pitch in the All Star game. How do you feel about a team not using their top player to protect him for the All Star game rather than what's usually don't use him in the All Star game to protect for the team?
Well, I I can understand eyebrows being raised if that was the case. Um, but my thing is like, heck, man, you're not scoring runs while he's on the mound. Uh, really, what, So, um, look, I think they obviously know that they have to protect their investment, and he's a big part of what they want to do moving forward. And as selfishly, I can find it commendable that they want to, because as a baseball fan, selfishly, I want to see Paul Skeens against Aaron Judge again.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to see that. Maybe Skeens is only going to go one inning, right? More
yeah.
than likely. I'd be shocked if he went multiple. I don't think they do that anymore. But I would love to see him go against uh, Cal Raleigh again. So I know that Skeens recently pitched in Seattle and faced the Mariners, where the Pirates didn't score a run for the entire weekend. Um, but yeah, so I can understand why some fans would be like, "Hey, let's try to win some games." But on the other hand, you know, can see that line of thinking if that's in fact what they were thinking.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I hate to say that the team is in a tough predicament there because I feel like they kind of put themselves there with not getting offense, but at the same time, I'm sure Major League Baseball wants Paul Skeens in the All Star game as well. So there's
No doubt.
probably some talk there, like, hey, if you don't mind, we can see some more Skeens in that weekend.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, I'm trying to think when was the last time Skeens pitched? I don't even remember. Is he pitching tonight? I should know this. Let me see.
Not 100%.
How's the how are the cards looking, by the way?
Doing pretty good here. I set some stuff off to the side. We were talking about childhood. You grew up an Astros fan. You had certain for us here in Pittsburgh, Jason Kendall was that guy. We had
Jason Kendall.
Kendall and Giles. We had a Kendall autograph here, numbered to 99. Some nice ones there. The All-Star Game rookies from last year, Paul Skeens and Merrill. We had the Colt Keith Gold. Ryan Feltner there with the black border, numbered to 74.
Okay, Skeens is pitching Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
might be a little tough to go too long.
No, he'll get an inning. That's my guess. Hey, there you go. That looked like a good card.
Yeah, the Volpe autograph there, numbered to 100. Some good rookies in Wu and Yamamoto, Luciano. Now I did see not Luciano. I was thinking of what's his name? Mauricio from the Mets. I saw that there's some rumor about him. The Pirates really like him, and the Mets are talking about Mitch Keller there as well. There's Roman Anthony, number to 25.
That could be interesting. By the way, speaking of Brian Wu, he's got a no-hitter in the after 5.
All right, everybody, you know who to blame.
There you go. I don't believe in jinxes, guys. So sorry, chat. I don't believe in it.
I'm trying to think. Do you remember? Maybe it was Mark Grace a while ago that there was a pitcher that had a no-hitter in the 9th, and he was calling the game, and he yelled down. He's like, "Hey, you've got a no-hitter," and the next batter got a single, and he was like blasted in the media for that.
I did not hear that.
I think it was Grace for the Diamondbacks. I can't remember for sure, but it was a while ago. But I think that's who it was.
That's funny. Jeez.
People take that serious.
Yes, they do. They do. which I like to needle and poke fun a little bit. Just looking at some other scores
here for the Rockies. The Hunter Goodman rookie.
Yes, he is. He's legit. He's legit. To do what he's doing. He's out of the catcher position. So,
a few catchers hitting the ball really well with him and Raleigh. There's Paul Skeens, silver pack rookie. Now that's a new addition that probably wasn't around whenever you last collected. The Topps sets have silver packs in them. They have special parallels. You can get autographs, numbered cards, different things like that in those special packs. And here's one of the Paul Skeens. They're a more limited set here.
And where would you buy those?
So they are in these boxes, like the jumbo and the hobby of the Topps flagship. So that was just a 2024 Topps update jumbo. So we had 2. So the jumbos have 2 of the silver packs, and the hobbies have 1.
Oh,
you get special limited cards there.
Oh, cool.
Question in the chat: are you against O'Neal Cruz being in the home run derby since he's not an all-star?
I am not. I feel like it's, the home run derby is its own special entity. So I am more than fine with that. I think O'Neal Cruz, I could be wrong, but I think he had the hardest hit ball of this year. I think it might have been
the hardest hit ever recorded. Was it like 122, 123?
Look, this is an exhibition. It's a special event, so I would love to see that kid take some hacks in Atlanta. So I like that. It's a good question, though. Thanks, Stu.
And we have another thing here that's different. So these gold backs in these are image variations. So there's the typical image of the card, and then they make a special image that's short printed, limited. And this one's Brandon Nimmo, the Mets.
Ooh.
A different variation of his base card there.
Oh, that's nice.
I just saw in a card group on, I think, Facebook, somebody pulled the Ohtani one, and it's him with the trophy after winning the championship, and that card sells for like $1,500 just for the image of Ohtani with the trophy. So,
wow,
definitely a big card there, but he's got so much more of a market because of the Japan market there as well with Ohtani, so it makes everything great.
Are there any like Japanese card companies that have Otani? I mean, like
There are.
primarily sold in Japan?
Yeah, there are. I actually started running breaks with those earlier this summer because Roki Sasaki had autographs in those as well whenever he pitched there. Um, and they had special insert sets that had Ichiro and Otani like throwback autographs in them as well. So
Oh
in
wow.
their sets, you could pull.
Where do you buy those boxes?
Um, Different online retailers will have them. Like we had them on the website for a little bit. I know some of our competitors had them as well, but I
Mhm.
think those are primarily sold in Korea or Japan. In the Asian market. I know
Okay.
Panini has their releases that are specific for the Asian market as well. Um,
Mhm.
and basically, you just have to kind of buy those from somebody that gets them from that market, or I guess kind of take a whiff on buying from an overseas country on eBay
Yeah.
if you're bold with it. But yeah, I mean it's definitely something different. So I like doing that as well. The only problem is I have enough trouble with the American and Hispanic names, so those Japanese names kind of threw me for a loop on there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
definitely fun. Here's
I
another.
think Luke Voigt is currently killing it in Japan right now.
That's one of the cards that I pulled numerous times, and that was Gregory Polanco, who didn't quite make it here. he he was one. I was so happy whenever the Pirates had Marte and Polanco and McCutcheon in the outfield. I thought, all right, this is it. And then those guys just kind of didn't take off like we had hoped. I mean, McCutcheon, former MVP, but Marte
Yeah.
and Polanco just kind of didn't deliver where we expected them to, I guess.
Yeah. I again, there's like the Pirates just need offense, man, and an O'Neal Cruz. It's there. I think he has a chance and the talent uh, to be really special. I know that there's been some kind of up and down moments for him, but he has all the talent in the world, man. If he can just figure it out and be consistent and put it all together, whoa, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's a Rockwood Field game used patch autograph with an inscription of "Go Sea Lions." Tyro Estrada, number 12 of 25 for the Giants.
Wow,
That's a really nice card there.
that is that is a really nice card.
Not sure
Now,
about the autograph though.
did any one of those names that you read out to begin the stream, are they, or can they get this? I mean,
Yeah.
how does what's the
So who had the Giants in this one is Michael T. So he
okay?
purchased all Giants cards for the break. So whenever I do the sort
Wow.
later, I'll have a pile of Giants cards, and they'll all go to Michael there with
Oh,
those.
cool. Love it.
Yeah, like I said, it's a great way for if you only collect a certain team or you only want to collect certain players,
Mhm.
you don't have to buy everything. You can just buy. Somebody said, "Will O'Neal Cruz smile on Monday?" Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I will say,
baseball's tough, man.
yeah, I will say that in Pittsburgh, it's they always say about the blue collar town, especially with the Steelers. Um,
Hmm.
Guys that show a lack of interest, the fans really turn on them quick here. So like
Yeah,
a
and
perceived lack of interest from him, quote unquote, not trying at certain moments. I know that's turned the
yeah,
fan base a little bit, but still, just the amount of talent that he has. I, I could just see guys like him, Brian Reynolds, Paul Skeens getting frustrated with the way the team, is performing on the field. So I
yeah.
don't
I
really.
mean, I think that one thing that I have a greater appreciation for since working at MLB Network and getting a chance to work closely with former big league players and speaking to them is that I don't think we um, appreciate as much as we should how difficult the game is at that level that they're playing at. And we don't know, ultimately, we don't know what's going on with a particular player. Maybe there's something going on personally or physically. Sometimes we don't know the whole story. But you're right. Um, there's oftentimes there's not a lot of great excuses there, or should I say, there's never an excuse to not give your best effort, and because people are paying good money and they want to see you put out your best effort. So yeah, the hope, but if that's happened with O'Neal Cruz, hopefully he's learned and can build off that and move on to become the player that he has a chance to be.
Yeah. Now, along those lines, I did see there was a report that Will Clark showed up to help train Rafi Devers at first base. Devers kind of blew off the meetings and things like that there in San Francisco. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, that one's a weird one for me. I don't know. Uh, I mean, I have a great deal of respect for Will Clark. He was one of my favorite players. I mean, his swing is it's beautiful, and I love his approach when it comes to hitting. But I have not heard what Rafi had to say about that, so I'm gonna wait till I hear
yeah, I haven't
what
seen a
Devers has
response
to.
there either.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to hear what Rafi has to say about that.
Yeah, that's very fair to hear both sides of a story. Um, Now this weekend, we've also got the MLB draft coming up. Is that this weekend? Next
Hmm.
weekend? Um,
This coming Sunday.
yeah, this Sunday. So, do you have any favorites in the draft that you're looking for? You know, interested to see where they go specifically.
Well,
Anybody that you think's going to step up there?
I think that I think that everyone's going to be trying to figure out what they're doing, what the Nationals are doing at the top, and also um, what because not only the intrigue of who they're going to take, but the fact that they fired their manager and general manager just a few days ago. Um, so I don't. How will that change what they ultimately do at the top? I think it's either Kate Anderson or Ethan Holiday as the favorites for the top pick. So um, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. It's not often that there's not really a slam dunk number one, at least publicly. Maybe the Nationals already have their guy, and there's other factors, sign of signings and money, and are they willing to that sort of thing. So I think we're not going to have to wait long to find out what the to get some intrigue and suspense in the draft on Sunday.
Here's a black border Alex Verdugo, numbered to 10. So only 10 of
Oh,
that card made for the Yankees there.
oh,
Uh,
there you go.
Now, obviously, you're not in the room with the people making decisions there in Washington. Do you think they take any account of Jackson Holliday's early struggles whenever they look at Ethan, or do they see it as two different players?
Oh, I don't think so. You know, the good thing about those kids is they've grown up in big league clubhouses. They know the pressures of the game at this level, and I think more often than not, the having that in your blood, so to speak, I think that only helps you. But Jackson, I feel like he's starting to turn it around a little bit.
Mhm.
So I'm sure his cards are pretty popular there
Yeah,
on the hot
last
scene.
year maybe a little bit more than this year so far because I think the expectations were so high coming in, and there was a little bit of early struggle. But again, he's what 22, 23 years old. Like it's to expect those guys to just come in their early 20s and dominate the major leagues. I think is a little
Hmm.
much from people, but that's kind of the way things are. Even like with coaching and managers, they get a year, they get two. If there's not a turnaround quick, they move on. So I guess it's kind of in fans, it's in the owners, it's in everybody that they want to see everything quick. But
Yeah.
and there's
Well,
so
and the
much
other
money
thing
involved there
is
too.
is a lot of these players are getting called up to the big leagues quicker than ever before. I mean, Jack Caglione was in last year's draft and he's already playing. Cam Smith was in the last year's draft and he's already playing. Paul Skeens wasn't in the minors for very long. So a lot of these players come up pretty polished, and that's why they're getting to the big leagues quicker and quicker. Sometimes, and that can be a good thing, but other times that there's also drawbacks to that. So it's all about which player and which organization can navigate that the best.
Yeah. Now with kids coming up at a younger age, do you think that maybe some of those records that we always thought were, unbreakable, like we look at the home run record now and things like that, do you maybe not that one so much, but
Um,
some of the stolen bases or things of that nature, do you see those as more in
yeah, I
play?
mean, the game is so different now. While stolen bases are easier, quote unquote, because of the new rules and the bigger bases. Um, I just think the game is played differently than it was when Ricky Henderson and Lou Brock were in their prime. As far as pitching, I don't think you're going to see a 300 game winner. I don't think you're going to see 3,000 strikeouts. I'm trying to think, is Chris Sale? I think Chris Sale has a good chance, but he's had health issues. Justin Verlander, can he get to 300 wins? Right now, he doesn't even have a win. He pitched better yesterday, but I believe now he's 0-7. So I don't think you're gonna. I think the days of 3,000 strikeouts and 300 wins, I think they're largely over.
Yeah, I get where the baseball purists are upset with that, but it's just the way the game's changed. You have so much invested in the bullpen, it makes sense to get those guys in there a little bit sooner, give them your best chance. But
No doubt.
I had a train of thought there and I lost it on that. um, oh no. Looks like we might have lost Robert there. See if he pops back in here. The questions are open there, guys. We'll see if Robert finds his way back in. Looks like there was a lost connection on that. But again, we just went over some of the cards here. We have had some really nice cards in this break. There he is. Popping back. Oh, pop back out. The James Wood insert. We have a Dustin Harris refractor there. All right, we do have our 2 silver packs from this. Let's see if he did message me and say he's having issues getting back in. So we'll see if Robert finds his way in here. Pull this down until he gets back in so you're not seeing me double there. Nice Paul Skeens insert there. I do have my earpiece in, so I'll hear it beep if he pops back up. But I do see we have some other orders in here. We had some more things here to discuss with Robert. I'll give out some of that information. If we don't get him back, I'll still give out that information. If we do get him back, I'll let him do that. We'll see how it goes. All right, looks like he's trying to pop back in here. Every time it pops in, it says now leaving. So still having some technical issues there. All right, we got our 2025 Bowman Jumbo here. So we're going to see a couple of autographs out of this one. First, we have Luis Murillo, number to 199.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry.
Gotcha. Good.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
What do you got? Oh, Cam Caminiti.
Yeah, first Bowman there for Cam Caminiti. Now that's you had said about rookie cards whenever you were collecting. Now there's the first Bowman. Are you familiar with the first Bowmans? The first card in the big league uniform of players?
No, I'm obviously familiar with the company, but not this particular series.
Okay, so on the Bowmans, and they'll start with this year's draft class. There'll be a 2025 Bowman draft set, and some of the kids that are drafted will be featured in that, and they'll have their major league team that drafts them's uniform, and they'll have the first Bowman logo, and that's their first card in a major league uniform. So those cards.
I feel like that might be a good place to start. Resuming the collection there, right?
Yeah, they definitely carry a premium on those ones. In this Bowman set, Fanatics also did this year, and I started talking about it. Here it is. It's the red rookie logo. So they're doing a program where if the player wins Rookie of the Year, you can turn that in for Fanatics cash. If you want to hold it and they make an All-Star game after winning Rookie of the Year, you can turn it in for an upgrade. If you hold it and they make the Hall of Fame, it's worth even more. So there's like incentive to holding those red rookies of the top rookie cards. So that's a new program that they've just done. That's a different feel to it because there's kind of a gamble there. You know, if the guy wins Rookie of the Year, you could turn it in quick, or you could hold it and see how things go there. If it can be worth
because
more.
that's an interesting question because there have been plenty of Rookie of the Years that haven't gone on to have great big league careers. So you're right. Do you run the risk? I mean, it depends on what the Fanatics cash, what the amount is, right?
Oh, that's one of the big hits in the product. Zaire Hope, the Dodgers autograph.
Go.
Now, his is a little bit unique because his first Bowman card wasn't actually the first Bowman logo. It was one that was inserted last year in an insert, and it was him holding the card saying my first. There was an insert set that said my first Bowman, and they were holding the card of their Bowman, and he was in that, but he hadn't had a card yet. So they produced a card for him to hold, and it made it kind of weird that his first Bowman is him holding a card saying my first Bowman.
Oh.
So he doesn't have that first Bowman logo. His first actual autographs are in this
So how
set.
did that affect the value of the card?
I'm not 100% sure. I know in the different card groups that I'm in, and you know, I play a lot of fantasy baseball and fantasy sports and things like that. So I'm in a lot of different groups related to that, and everybody's crazy about Zaire Hope. So there's a lot of people stashing up on his stuff. Jesus Mate is another one. A lot of people are spending some just insane money. I mean, it costs more to get a Jesus Mate first auto right now than it does an Aaron Judge rookie auto. So it's a little crazy in that aspect for some of those things, but it's definitely the more appealing. Like Aaron Judge's first Yankees card is in 2013, even though he wasn't a rookie until 2017. So that 2013 carries a much higher premium than his 2017 cards with the rookie logo because it was legitimately the first Yankees card.
Oh, wow.
There's another first auto, Charles McAdoo from the Blue Jays.
Nice.
Now, you had mentioned that you also stream on Twitch and YouTube, I believe, as well, right?
Yeah, although I haven't really done that in a while. I usually stream on Twitch and Facebook.
Okay.
But yeah, my Twitch handle is twitch.tv/realrollflow, and I primarily play MLB The Show, obviously. But I also do dabble in the new college football game. But I primarily play MLB The Show during football season. A buddy of mine do a little fantasy football stream. I'm still heavily involved. I love football and fantasy football, so we do that stream on Sunday mornings during the year. So it's good. I've been streaming probably for about maybe 6 years or so. It's a lot of fun. It's a new way to connect with fans and kind of bring the two passions, sports and video games, together there.
Now, are you like legit a top player on the show? Do you put that much time into it?
I
That much
would
effort?
say the way I describe it is sometimes I'm a little above average, sometimes I'm average, and other times I'm below average. So, for anyone in the chat that plays MLB The Show, I've reached 700, 734, and then I'll spend a good portion of it in the mid 600s. So, like I said, sometimes I'm a little bit better than okay, but it's hard to compete with these. My reflexes aren't getting any younger, so to speak. So
Yeah, I get up. I think mine is like 580 something. I think was my highest. I get up
hmm
there and then I just run into some people that just are way better
yeah,
at that
that's
game than
it.
I am.
There's you're just going to run into some freaks of nature. So
Yeah, it's a little tough with some of those guys. You can tell they put a lot of money, a lot of time. I mean, that's
yeah,
a lot of the
no
Twitch
doubt.
affiliates. That's their job. So
Yeah,
definitely some
absolutely.
tough competition as you move up. Now, one of the things that and I love the show and Madden. Those are my two favorite games. Um, how do you feel about like in this last installment in the fifth inning? Uh, the bosses were guys that we already had cards of: Chipper Jones, Hank Aaron, and
Yeah,
Maddox.
I mean, I know that it is. Um, by the way, Brian Wu still has that no hitter going. Um, it's I do know that it's difficult, and it's there's things that have to be done and completed and overcome to get these new cards, got to get players or former players into the game. um, so the content team there at Sony San Diego, they're constantly putting out new content, and um, people want to say, when can we have Bo Jackson, or when's Barry Bonds going to be? It's it's not just that simple. It's not just like, hey, let's put Barry Bond. I mean, no, you gotta get an agreement with various entities and organizations, including the player himself. So I don't have I don't have a problem with it. I mean, you saw we had Chipper Jones earlier in MLB The Show this year. As I think he was a 90 or a 91, and now he's a 96. So yeah, I would love to see some new players come down the road, and maybe we will. I'm sure we will moving
Yeah,
forward. But
I've been telling everybody I expect because Barry Bonds has signed on with Topps, and that's his first autograph cards, and I don't even remember how long with anybody, and he's a little bit
ooh, are
more
those
out there now.
cards out? Are those
Yeah,
cards out now?
yeah. So the 2025 Topps, Barry Bonds has autographs for both the Giants and the Pirates in those sets.
Ooh.
So
And
that's
you could just buy, they're just kind of randomly in boxes.
yep, yep. And to buy them secondary, if you don't pull them, they go for a pretty good premium because he hasn't signed anything in quite a while. So
No,
it's
I imagine he
definitely
hasn't.
tough cards to chase. Um,
Yeah.
but I still have kind of an inkling that I don't know how the innings correspond with the release of Madden in August, maybe sixth, seventh inning. I still think there might be a Barry Bonds card coming. I think they're gonna try to do something
Yeah,
there, but
that would be amazing.
Fanatics
That
does
would be
have such a good tie-in with, I mean, all the cards, all that stuff with the people at the show there, San Diego Studios.
yeah.
So I really do expect that if he's working with Fanatics now, I think there's a chance. So I'm kind of
Hey,
holding out hope.
that'd be really cool. I'd love to see it. I think that'd be amazing.
And yeah, so that's the break. We saw our hits there. We finished up with that Spencer Schwellenbach. Unfortunately, it looks like Tommy John, I think, on Schwellenbach there.
Schwellenbach, it's not Tommy John. He just has a fractured elbow,
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
which
Yeah.
is just weird. But the Braves, they're really going through it right now. But Schwellenbach has been amazing for them.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked to see the reports that Acuna might be on the block. I mean, they quickly dispelled that they're not trading him. But
Yeah,
that's kind of weird.
I don't think that they will. It's been weird. Like this is like the second year in a row where guys haven't produced. The offense just got off to such a rough start. Um, Look, we've seen crazy things happen. Maybe they're not done, but my guess is that I don't think they're going to the postseason this year.
It's they got so much talent there too. It's just kind of one of those things where it's just not working for them.
No.
But again, before I let you go, I'll give you time here to some stuff. But the last question I had on my list from somebody was, do you see anything at the deadline that you do expect to happen? Do you expect anybody to see move? Do you think there's a surprise move out there that maybe not everybody's keen on?
I want to maybe the surprise for me is 7 no-hit innings for Brian Wu. Is that I would say keep an eye on the Jaron Duran Red Sox situation. For some reason, his name keeps popping up, and I don't know why. I really enjoy watching him play. I think he's a big part of that clubhouse, and but yeah, you keep hearing his name pop up, which is weird. Um, is there enough time for Sandy Alcantara to build up his trade value? He's kind of running out of time. I don't think the way he's pitching that the Marlins would want to part with him because they couldn't get the value. A team's not going to pay, that Cy Young premium, quote unquote, for the way he's pitching now. So
yeah,
those are the two things that I keep an eye on.
It's crazy with him because his strikeout numbers are still there. Like I was just looking at him. He's like 94 innings, 100 something strikeouts, or maybe it's reverse, but it's real close on the 9 Ks per nine. So with him, it's really weird that he's getting hit and still striking guys out. So it's just something different with Alcantara there that we don't.
Yeah.
I don't know that one. I guess we're not the only ones because the Marlins haven't figured it out yet either.
Hey, baseball's hard, man.
Yeah,
baseball's hard.
Absolutely. That's I always love hockey players will say hockey's the toughest, football says football's the toughest. Man, I'm telling you
I think baseball's the most mentally challenging. And look, it is demanding physically. I think we don't think of it as a physically demanding sport, but they play 162. That's a lot of games played outside. And
I would rather get tackled than have 104-mile-an-hour fastball come at me.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but that mental grind is also a real thing too.
Yep. And again, before I let you go, I want to let you talk about you said about your Twitch there. If you want to reiterate on that. Facebook, and then of course MLB Central.
Yeah, MLB Central will be at the All-Star Game in Atlanta next week. We'll be doing our shows a little bit different time, 2 p.m. Eastern on Monday, and then I think noon on Tuesday. But we'll be there, and you can find my streams of MLB The Show and fantasy football and the new college football game, twitch.tv/RealRoFlow.
Sounds good. I'll be checking those out as well. Because like I said, I just found out about your streams. So I always watch you, but I didn't know about the streams.
I appreciate it.
Before I let you go, I didn't think about this. My wife is not gonna let me hear the end of it. Do you have any update on your car?
we have fingers crossed. We've got it in the hands of a reputable person this time. So hopefully we're moving in the right direction. But yeah, the MLB Central has heard some weird stuff. We had the patio furniture that had poop arrived in the box with it. So we've there's always some weirdness that ends up happening at my house. So, but
Somebody said something
yeah.
about someone's favorite team. They didn't want to hear.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it was that's what I said on the show. Maybe it was a disgruntled Yankee fan or something like that. So,
All right. Thanks again. I know we ran a little bit over what I told you it was going to be, so I appreciate that. And
no,
coming
you
back
got
on
it.
after
Thanks
we
for
lost you there too.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. This was really cool, very informative. I'm gonna get that Steph Curry card graded and see if there's anything worth saving there.
Yeah, well, we're hoping for you there. But again, thanks. Huge fan of the show. Really appreciate
Thanks,
coming
man.
on. And
I
we'll be
appreciate
watching
it.
the All-Star game there as well.
You got it. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thanks, Rob.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, guys, we do have our prizes there. I wanted to let him get his things in there before we went to the prizes. Again, if you read the break, which I didn't there, after the break, we're going to randomize the teams 5 times. The top 3 teams are going to be matched to these prizes. The team that comes in first is going to get the Ricky Henderson. The team that comes in second is going to get the Ken Griffey Jr. The team that comes in third gets the Jose Canseco. And like I said, just because I held him a little bit longer there, I wanted to let him get that in and move on with his night. I'm sure they have a lot going on there. But let's randomize these teams. Let's find out who gets the prizes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there are your winners. We have the Ricky Henderson going to the Toronto Blue Jays. And that's Michael S. And the Ricky Henderson is the premier prize in this one. Again, that's his rookie card with a PSA 10 graded autograph. It also has the Stolen Base King inscription, which, to be honest, I haven't seen that one much. If I've even seen it, I don't recall. So that one's a really good hit. Congratulations on that one, Michael. The Padres going to Miguel. Of course, the Ken Griffey Jr., Donruss, the rookies, signed in person. Has a PSA 10 autograph on that one as well. Who doesn't love Ken Griffey Jr.? Congratulations there, Miguel. And our final prize is to the Texas Rangers, all at the bottom of the list here. Kelly gets the Jose Canseco, and that's the 1986 Donruss rookies. Canseco, signed in person, and it has the 86 AL, I believe, Rookie of the Year inscription on that one. So, I have to look and see what that inscription is again. I have it here. I can pull that up at some point. That's his 86 AL Rookie of the Year. He kind of put the ROY pretty close together, but it is certified by Beckett. It's given a grade of 10 on his signature. He has a great signature too. Griffey's signature is my favorite. He's my favorite player. Love that one. And Ricky Henderson, that's an awesome one there as well. So thanks again there, everybody, for joining that break. Thanks again to Robert Flores for joining us on that. That was awesome. He's one of my favorite personalities on all sports networks. So really cool that we was able to have him on tonight. And again, everybody in that break, you're going to get spots in the giveaway tonight. So if you didn't hit big there, you didn't win one of the prizes, it's not over. We still have the 4 prizes tonight. The Canseco jersey, the Smoltz jersey, the Winfield jersey, and the Schilling. Somebody's going to get to pick from those 4. Again, that's a winner's choice. So whoever wins at the end of the night, you're going to get to pick from those 4. Last week we had 4 choices as well. I don't think I updated. The Rocky Blyer was the one that was chosen last week in that. So, yeah, somebody's going to win another autographed jersey tonight. We had those prizes there. Great break. Fun time there with Robert. A lot of orders popped up while we were doing that break, so I know we have a lot of stuff to get to. We're going to get to all that, I promise. Yeah, thanks again, everybody.